I call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Councilwoman Dormidium?
Here.
Councilman Garrett?
Here.
Councilman Accomando?
Here.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Here.
Council President Salute.
Here. Please rise to salute the flag. Please remain standing in memory of former mayor and councilman Edward Kugel, who recently passed. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, and in consideration of Executive Order Number 103, issued by Governor Murphy on March 9, 2020, declaring a state of emergency and a public health emergency in the state of New Jersey.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during the meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by saying may and have in the past sought legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
I'd like to take a motion to open the meeting to the public. Motion by Ms. Darminio. Second by Mr. Accomando. Roll call.
Councilwoman Dormidium?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer?
Yes.
Council President Salute.
Yes, meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishes to address the council, come forward, give your address, name and address. Sir,
Okay, should I lower my mask or?
if you're going to speak for more than 30 seconds, I think that's the rule. I don't mind. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why we can hear you.
All right, good evening, everyone. Tom Van Winkle, 128 Lincoln Avenue, Saddlebrook. Just want to talk about the Mayor's Youth Group. We had the Halloween decorating contest this past month. Before I announce the winners, I'm just going to say we all went out and judged the houses between October 28th and Halloween. We couldn't get together. Normally we get together and go on the senior bus and drive around town, but due to social distancing with COVID-19, we all just went out and judged on our own. And I also went around to all the houses and took the pictures of the houses and posted them on the Mayor's Youth Group Facebook page, and they were shared to the town page as well. We had 12 houses entered this year in the contest, and the winners are as follows. I'll start with third place. That went to 76 Oxford. Second place was 53 Coker Street, and the grand first place winner was 83 Strathmore Terrace. So congratulations to all the winners.
Do you know their names? Do you have their names with you?
Yeah, I don't remember them off the top of my head.
I have. I'll mention it later.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Okay, so all the winners, if they haven't been contacted already, will be contacted, and they're going to receive their gift in the mail. So I want to again congratulate all of them, thank all the Mayor's Youth Group members who judged. We're looking to hopefully do the Christmas decorating contest once again. Probably done the same way as the Halloween contest was done, where we go out on our own, we judge, and we decide who wins. So we'll have more information on that social media page. I'm sure we'll probably have another meeting at some point, but we don't have any dates for that as of now. So we will definitely get that out on the social media, and everybody will know. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Vince? No. Have your hand raised.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Vince Montagna, 142 MacArthur Drive, Saddlebrook. I want to congratulate Andy, Flo, and David on your win in the election. Congratulations. And tonight I'm here for Toys for Tots. You can see a box over there that I just put over, installed. One is at the police station. So for the residents' sake, they know where they are and where to drop the toys off. Let me just give a little brief background about Toys for Tots. And Toys for Tots has been around a long time with the Marine Corps. I am with the Marine Corps League. I am with Jet C. Barker Detachment, and we meet in Park Ridge. We used to meet in Rochelle Park. And I serve as judge advocate, which is the legal arm of the detachment. I also serve as the bylaws chairman, and this is my other job with toys. I will be picking these toys up December 19th, and I deliver all the toys to Teaneck. I don't know if you're familiar with Trophy King. Trophy King gathers all the toys, and sometimes they deliver them directly to the hospital, where the boys and girls are, tots, and sometimes they deliver them to Picatinny Arsenal, where the main depot is, and they get distributed from there. So that's how it works. And I thank you for allowing me to speak about that tonight. Thank you very much.
Vince, just to be clear, there will be a box here and a box at Town Hall. Anyone who wants to come in and drop off toys, do they have to be wrapped or can they be unwrapped?
Oh, good point. Toys, don't wrap any toys. They don't want toys wrapped. So you just buy them, put them in there. Teddy bears even, if you buy a teddy bear, a plush toy, just drop it in there. As long as it's brand new, it's not used. Okay?
Thank you, to the
Thank
chair.
you, Vince.
Any other questions?
Yes, to the chair, if I may. Vince, would you happen to have another box? I'd love to put it up at school,
I do have another box.
because the kids love that, they're really,
You interested in one?
yes, they can.
Okay. Where do you want me to do it?
Market Street.
Okay.
Market Street, or location of Market Street at our school,
Okay.
if you don't
So
mind,
we have
because the children love doing that.
What's the address, Phil?
449 Market Street.
Okay. Thank
Right
you.
next to the old Kimbridge, where
Yeah,
daycare
Thank
is.
you.
Thank
So now we
you.
have 3 boxes.
Three
here,
boxes.
Police station, and at the
Chuck.
TLC Plus.
TLC.
Yes.
Good. So let's mention it. TLC.
TLC.
3 boxes.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vince, you're a gentleman. I read with Vince 8 years ago,
Thank you.
and very good man. Sir.
Good evening, everyone. I want to congratulate all those that were running. My name is George A. Sabino Jr., 264 South Lanza Court.
Look at the rock.
You can see my beautiful scar. So really, it was amazing. First time ever running. But it won't be the last. So hopefully we'll get to work together some more and tackle some issues in town together as a team. I do have a question, though. I was doing some research earlier the month, and I think you guys might touch on it. It's about the budget. Can't help but notice, but there hasn't been a financial audit since 2018. Per the website, I don't know if there was one that was done in 2018 and 2019, it could have been for COVID. But I also noticed too that the company that is being utilized by the town, FWCC, out of 401 Wanacue Avenue, over in Pompton Lakes, been used for quite some time, about 5 years. And I just want to know if there's any ideas of maybe using a different CPA firm. Just because from my experience, my financial auditing background, once you use a CPA for way too long, things get missed and things get copied and pasted, things get overlooked. And also too, since we're trying to save money on the budget because of COVID, we want to see if we could see if someone else could outbid or bid at a lower price. So just want to know if there's any thoughts on that in the council. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just defer to Pete. You want to, about the audit?
The audit, first of all, the state delayed the timing, usually it's June, and with COVID, everything's been delayed. So hopefully next week or two, because I've been in contact with the auditor, he should be able to present that. That's for 2019, the audit. And every year we go out for RFPs, requests for professional proposals. And we usually get a number of them that come in, and we have a committee that reviews them, checks the prices, of course, the type of work they do. So that'll happen again for next year.
All right. Thank you.
Good evening, Richard Garcia, 593 Hickory Ave, Center Brook. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Council President Sonuka, Ms. Mazer, Ms. Derrick, congratulations on your victory. As my partner, Mr. Sedino, said, hopefully this will be the last time we'll see each other again. I also like to thank the members of the community who voted for us. There were a lot of people out there for the first time that we went out. I thought it was very good showing on our behalf. So thank you for all those people who voted on our behalf. Thirdly, I'd like to just talk about the new municipal building down in Mayhill. I just ask the council through your powers to please ensure that our tax dollars are being reviewed and looked at that property. We look to ensure that we have overruns, ensure that the engineer we hired is doing what he needs to do, and to ensure that hopefully comes in on the budget and on time. And just some thoughts, because some folks asked me, what I thought you guys can do going forward with the community. One of the things I like to see in that new center, because I'm a business person, I really like to see more business in town. And one of the ways to do that is hopefully, maybe that building has an all-purpose room in that area. We've been working with the Small Business Development Center of Bergen County. We need business. At the end of the day, we need more ratables in town, more business coming into town. It's good for everybody in the community. Along with the Small Business Administration, I know everybody knows SBA here in the county. And of course, the Bergen County Economic Development Corporation. They bring businesses into the county as well. I think that we're going to have a gem here on Mayhill, and I think we need to use that not only for the community at large, but for businesses in the community as well. So hopefully we can do that. And at the end of the day, again, thank you very much for the opportunity to run. Looking forward to the next couple of years, and thank you very much. That's it. Thank you.
Just one thing, Rich, on behalf of the overruns and things like that, what we did was, this is a build to suit. So although there's going to be change orders at some point, I think for the most part, it's not an open checkbook. We had a contract. They agreed to build what we want them to build for a certain amount of money. And if it takes them too long, it's on them. And if they cost them more money to build it, it's on them. So that's the one thing I think, well, not the one thing, but it's one of the things that I think that we were proactive and looked out for the best interests of the town by doing that. We could have just gone to a general bidder, but the problem is that you run into getting the low bidder who may not do a good job. We know that these people have done good work in the past, and we do have an architectural firm, besides our engineer, we do have an architectural firm that is going to be overseeing the project, and working along with the other architect. So I think we do have a good plan in place in terms of a multi-purpose room. We do have one or two of those rooms that are going to be there. So we don't have to, unlike before, we don't have to go to the high school and ask to use their property. We can do things there. And if it's not just a children's recreation center. It is ours. And we do have a recreation director, and I think he'll be in charge of if somebody wants to have a meeting there. As long as it serves a reasonable purpose, I don't think there would be a problem with having something done if it's available for the business community. It's the more business in town, the more ratables, the better it is for the taxpayers. So I agree with you 1,000%. Anyone else from the public wish to address the council? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. O'Neill, second by Mr. Garrett. Roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Meza.
Yes.
Council President Simulu.
Yes, meeting is now closed to the public. Council comments, we're going to start with Mr. Accomando.
First, I'd like to congratulate Dave, Andrew, as well. Congratulations. Look forward to working with you the next 2 years, hopefully more after that. Also, Ms. Sotarelli, Ms. Mahoney, and Mr. Shearer on Board of Ed. And I just like to reiterate what Mr. Garcia and Mr. Cedeno said. You guys came out, you guys got great numbers. For me, you guys are very professional. It was good from my point of view. I don't know about theirs, but it's good when people are adults about it because our kids go to school together. We eat the same restaurants. We go to the same stores. We go to the same churches. So it was good the way it was. And I applaud you guys for getting the amount of numbers you got the first time out. It was impressive. Mrs. Daniel, I'm sorry, Daniel, I saw your bio on Facebook. And I know you didn't do it for a pat on the back, but I just want to tell you, very impressive. And from my family to you, I thank you for your service. And with that being said, I just wish everybody a happy Veterans Day and a happy Thanksgiving.
Ms. Revenue?
I too want to congratulate my three teammates over here. And I'd like to reiterate what Todd said. This was a very difficult year, and to run brand new at this time, and you did really well. So, and we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you here. So thank you for that. I just want to mention Ed Kugler. He passed away, and Mr. Kugler was a huge person in Saddlebrook. He ran as mayor, he was councilman for many, many years, and we will miss him in our community, and I want to extend my condolences to the Kugler family. We did talk about briefly in the work session that we'd like to see naming something in Mr. Kugler's name, because as I said, he's been here a long time, and he's really served us well. I think that's all I have at the moment. I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Ms. Mason?
Thank you, Council President. First and foremost, I'd like to commend Mr. Garcia, Mr. Dano, Mr. Julia on a well-run campaign. Like Councilwoman said, it was an election like we've never seen. And please stay involved. You know, it's great when you come up and give us, a different perspective. We're always open-minded and willing to hear what you have to say. Again, good job. And to my team, I'm very proud to run with you guys. And you know what? We're back to work and just keep moving forward. I'd like to also at this time thank the poll workers because it was, like I said, a unique an election, and they were I'm sure a lot of unanswered questions, a lot of uneasiness and whatnot, but they did an amazing job. And also to our clerk, who was, I know he was up at 4 a.m. because I was too, and working around the clock.
Long day.
And it just keeps going. And thanks, Pete, for that hat that you're wearing at this point. But and Mayor, thank you for your support, and all our professionals and everyone, our fellow council also, because it takes a team. Together, everybody achieves more. And that is so true. To the Kugler family, I'd like to extend my prayers and sympathy. I've had the privilege to serve with Ed, and he was my go-to person for a couple of years there, and he's certainly a pillar to our community. My heartfelt prayers and sympathies to him and his family. And let's hope we get back to some normalcy. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mason. Mr. Garrett?
Good evening, everyone. I too would like to give my condolences to the Kugler family. Mr. Kugler was a wonderful person, and I consider him a friend. When I first started running for Board of Education, I went to the funeral home and I sat down and I spoke to Mr. Kugler, and he's a wealth of knowledge, and was a wonderful person. I too would like to recognize our challengers. You ran a great campaign, and I just want to wish you well, and I look forward to seeing you here at the meetings. I'd also like to congratulate and thank my team. We ran a hard-fought campaign as well. We did very well. I'd like to thank Councilman Todd Accomundo, Councilwoman Karen D'Arminio, our mayor, for your support. Thank you very much. On another note, the flood committee will be meeting soon. Hopefully we could get a meeting together by the end of this month. Pete?
Yes.
Good? Okay. I'd also like to wish all the veterans a happy Veterans Day and wish a happy Thanksgiving to all the families here in Saddlebrook. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. I don't want to reiterate what everyone said, so I agree with all the comments, especially as to Mr. Kugler. He was unique. He was he's an icon in Saddlebrook and will not be forgotten. In terms of things we discussed at the work session, Mr. Cedeno had brought up about audits and things like that. Well, there is something that we have called best practices, and our recent best practice review from the state. The most points you can get are 24.5, and we scored a 24.5. So and that, a lot of that has to do with our auditing practices. So I think right now, Mr. Wilcox has done, I think, a fabulous job. He's there when we need him, and he's been doing this forever. And he does it for a number of towns, and he's highly recommended. But we scored 100, basically. You know, we aced this one. So congrats to him and to our mayor and our administrator, because they all worked tirelessly to put everything together. I mean, it took years to get to the 24.5. Some of the other things we talked about, there was a petition, I think it was on change.org. It didn't really say what they wanted to do, but it was a petition against racing and loud mufflers. I don't think there's anyone in this town that's for street racing or loud mufflers, other than the people doing the street racing and using the loud mufflers. So our police, it was here, I think it was last meeting, brought the chief up here, told him what was the problem, and he addressed the same people that were heavily involved in this petition. We will once again send a memo to the chief indicating that we've got a number of citizens concerned about that. The problem with street racing, the problem with loud mufflers, like anything, if you're not there to see it, it's very difficult to stop it. If somebody is, there could be 5 people drag racing on Platte, but if you're one of your police officers on Fifth Street and another one patrolling the town is on Saddle Road down on the north end of town, you're not going to see it. And if somebody calls and you get there, they're long gone. I think the issue is most of the people that are doing this are from the town. So like the chief said, and I do tend to agree with him on that, these are usually not 40-year-old people that are doing this. These are people that are like just out of high school. They're young kids, just get their license, they get a car, they soup it up, and they think they're hot stuff by doing this. So parents, just please, you kind of know what kind of car your kids have. I mean, when they pull out of your driveway and it sounds like a 747 taking over, that could be a problem. So I'm not saying it's all on you. We do have a police force, we will be enforcing this, but you guys who are doing this, you kind of know what you're doing, and we got a petition with hundreds of people that hate you. So don't do it. It's it's just not cool. I don't know who you think you're impressing. Listen, we all did stupid things when we were young, but hopefully you'll grow up and you won't do it. And parents, please, do the best that you can to stop. If you know who's doing this, either it's your kid or your kid's friend, have a talk to them. Like the chief says, it starts at home. So if you can, please do that. People who sign the petition, we feel your pain, we understand it. Our police are aware of the situation, and for our friends on Fairlawn Parkway, we talked about it, that our engineer is going to be getting a speed control device to measure speed. That will measure how fast the average person is going, how many people are on the street, and that's another thing that we will use to see where we need to do the speed controls. Fairlawn, our neighbor to the north in Fairlawn, has in fact continued the striping on Fairlawn Parkway, and we hope that will be a further deterrent to speeding issues that do occur on Fairlawn Park, no doubt that they occur. So and to the people who did that petition, thank you for being involved. We appreciate that. We talked about specials, about we are directing, and I'm directing the clerk to send a communication to the police chief that we would like enhanced enforcement of our parking regulations, because parking and speeding sometimes go hand in hand. People can't see when they're making turns because people are parking too close to crosswalks, too close to stop signs. There's state laws on it, there's local ordinances on it. Obey the signs, and if the sign isn't there, you just can't, because there's no sign that, I had something, I'm a prosecutor, so I had somebody, he parks on the side of the road, just, on a shoulder. He says, well, there's no signs telling me I don't have to, that I can't park there. I was like, there's no sign saying you can't park in the middle of a street. You can't do that. So, people, you have to stay away from the crosswalks. You have to stay away from the intersections, stay away from the sidewalks. Because you're just hurting yourself, you're hurting the neighbors. And I talked about kids. These new drivers, they're vulnerable. And if you're parking and blocking stop signs, they're not going to be able to see. And they're not really skilled at driving yet. It could be your kid that gets hurt. So please, be aware of the rules and regulations, and we are sending something to the chief to maybe get our specials out there to do enhanced enforcement. So again, just like the speeding, you're on notice. Don't do it. We are purchasing a couple of Welcome to Saddlebrook signs. They're going to be placed on the intersection or the land area where we now have that very tall flagpole and flag, and we are working with PSC&G, obviously, to get a light up there. That is a requirement. I don't know if it's the flag code, Vince would know, but it's we need to get it there. Right now it's being lit from Route 80, not really the right way, but we have to work. We can't just magically let electricity appear there, so PSC&G is working with us to get that lit up. And that's the flagpole, the American flag, flying gracefully over Saddlebrook with these Welcome to Saddlebrook signs. I think that's a welcome addition. And again, that was some suggestion. I know that Mayor Dominio was pushing that, but also citizens came to us. So we will listen to the citizens. That is something that we really want the input. George Cedeno ran. He's a veteran. Veterans Day is November 11th. VFW will be doing their service on Wednesday, November 11th at 11 a.m. It's always 11:11 at 11. So please join us there. Whoever can make it. It is a solemn ceremony, but it is an important town function that happens every year. The election, I'm not even going to comment on the election. We don't even know who our president is right now, which is kind of sickening. But the local election, it's great to win, and it sucks to lose. And I've been in both places. But the main thing is that you got to commend everyone who goes out there, win or lose. It's really tough. It's tough to be up here and getting questioned and things like that. But it's tough to go out there and put yourself out there. So I really commend everyone who went out there, those who came out on top and those who didn't. So, good job. And that's what we need. And like I said before, we welcome input. And to tell you the truth, I went on your website and I saw some things that you said, and I said, you know what? We were thinking about that, and we're going to make it. I think one thing that you brought up in your literature was to try and improve the electronic ability to pay bills and things like that. And we are working on that. I know Pizza Dinosaur doesn't like that, but we're going to move into the 21st century. No, that's something that I think that we've baby steps. We're getting better with that. We've improved our township website. We've got better communications with that billboard that's up there. But that's something that we are looking forward to, and little by little we are getting there. And that is a great idea. We welcome ideas here. So please, in years past, it's not just yelling at us. Please give us information. Call us up, email us, or come here. It doesn't matter. We won't always agree with you. We won't always do what you ask to be done. However, we do welcome the input. And a lot of the ideas, we can't think of everything. So we ask the community to come forward and help us out. That being said, I thank you, wish you a happy Thanksgiving, and we're going to go on to ordinances after the mayor. Almost always.
You didn't forget.
I didn't forget that.
You talk so long, man.
Yeah, well, I wasn't that.
Well, I talk long.
There's a football game on a little bit. I'm talking fast.
I'll try to talk a little faster. Bear with me. I don't have my glasses. Well, I do have these, but I'm embarrassed. See, it broke off. I got about 20 pairs, and that's all I can come up with, so I'm not going to wear them tonight, but bear with me, because the mask, too, affects my eyes and my hearing, too.
Me too.
I swear to God. But anyway, I want to reiterate what Andrew just said, too, because before I forget. We are lacking a little bit in technology, and it's something that we're well aware of, and we are going to improve that. And we really have received some complaints, especially about paying bills online. I mean, most other towns do that, and especially now with COVID. You know what? You don't want people coming in. They got to drop off a check, a mail a check. It's better if they could just do it in their home online. So we're working on that. But I'm going to start off talking about COVID update. The numbers, unfortunately, are rising. As of Tuesday, November the 3rd, we're up to 400 total. That's cumulative since March of this year. We have 48 active cases. Unfortunately, sadly, we've had 19 deaths and 337 recoveries. So 337 people have gotten it. It's probably more than that because a lot of people probably had it. And especially during that first wave when it was really bad, I know a lot of people that they had a video chat with their doctor, and they said, they prescribed something for them and said, don't go to the hospital unless you've got a really high fever or you're having trouble breathing. So anyway, but it does seem, the numbers are going up, and it's very similar countywide and statewide. It seems like there's fewer hospitalizations. We haven't had any deaths, in this. If we are in a second wave, I don't know, but it seems like we may be in a second wave. But I really believe, and I think the experts believe, we're more capable of handling it now. There's better therapeutics out there. Doctors know how to treat it. More people have had it. Some people say everybody's going to get it, possibly. You know what? But a lot of people were immune because they have antibodies. So, but the governor did declare another public health emergency. It was extended for another 30 days. And he does that because that allows the municipalities and the counties that state of emergency to get funding from the federal government. He did say, which I was very happy about, that he doesn't feel he's going to roll back any of the openings that he did so far. He may halt some things that he wanted to do, like increasing dining, the capacity of people in restaurants, but he's not going to go backwards, which I'm very happy about. Our school, we are doing a hybrid combination of in-person learning and remote. We did have 3 cases in the school system. I don't know whether they were teachers or students. The superintendent sent out a memo, just said individuals. It didn't close down the whole school. It did affect certain classes that had to quarantine because that student was in the class. And the classes aren't as big because they try to limit the amount that are in the classes. So far it's been pretty good. Our senior center is open for limited activities. Also, the bus is now operating for office visits, doctor visits only. Our recreation and high school sports, they are permitted to participate, and so far we haven't had any major issues at all with that, which is good. I just want to stress that, you know what, we have to remain vigilant. We can't, a lot of people are they're overloaded with COVID. They're tired of it, they're fatigued over it. But it's important, you know, the 3 Ws. Wear a mask, you know, whenever you can, you know, especially indoors. You have to, it's required indoors, but even outdoors, you know, watch your distance, keep 6 feet away, and then wash your hands and sanitize your hands. And don't do what I just did by touching my face. That's a thing. That's one good thing about the mask. You know what? It kind of, I don't know. You know, you got the mask on it. You don't touch your face as much, which that, you know, they say that T-zone. You got to watch where you touch. Municipal complex update. A couple of things. We did meet with town employees and volunteers from the ambulance corps, the fire department. We kind of got their wish list and we got their input on what they were looking for. We did have the town and the owner / contractor came before the planning board and basically talked about the project and the plans, and we did that. We didn't have to do it, but we did it to make sure that we're in compliance with all the township zoning ordinances, and we were approved by the planning board to move forward. And then lastly, it looks like they may start doing some demolition this month, you know, maybe mid-month, end of the month. So we're looking forward to that. Town hall's closed on Wednesday, November 11th for Veterans Day. As Andrew said, that Veterans Day ceremony is 11 a.m. At the VFW, at the Mayhill Street Veterans Circle by Mayhill and Saddle River Road. We're going to have a tree lighting ceremony outside Town Hall on day after Thanksgiving, which is Friday, November the 27th. We're just having the outside tree lighting ceremony. We're not doing any party afterwards indoors. So we're looking forward to that. Again, that's the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, November 27th. The Halloween decorating contest winners, Thomas, thank you for the update. I want to thank Thomas as well. We went around to every house and took some amazing pictures. There's about 15 houses, and he put them online. And some of the youth group members that couldn't get out and actually go past the houses, they used those pictures to vote, and they were very good. So thank you for that. The winners are, I think I'm pronouncing this right, the Vielli family, 83 Strathmore, the Perno family. The Vielli family's first, 83 Strathmore. Second was the Perno family, 53 Coger, and third was the LaFabre family at 76 Oxford. So I appreciate them participating, and they really did a great job. The zoning board, I wanted to mention, Mr. Garcia brought up business. I heard today that from the zoning board secretary that there is an application being put in for an assisted living facility at the old Garden Plaza, which I am totally in favor of that property being used for that. So that's going to be, that should be moving forward. So that's a good thing. I feel that's a good thing, because that property, you know, as a hotel, it was blighted, the neighbors are upset. Got a lot of problems when it was the Garden Plaza there. Setting up a meeting, Mr. Garrett brought it up with the flood committee, but with Bergen County, to talk about every town that's in our area that's along the Saddle River, corridor, is meeting with the county to discuss ways that they can help us and what we need from them. And it's not just about the river and the flooding. It's about issues with the park, parking, the condition of the park. We get a lot of complaints about vegetation growing around the lake and things of that nature. So we're going to sit down with them, and I thank the county executive because he's made this happen. Andrew mentioned the best practices. I'm very happy about that. There is a couple ordinances on tonight. One is it's a mandate from the state. It's basically a precautionary measure, and it's referenced if there's deficient shortfall in an emergency reference to COVID, to be able to recover funds from the state. That's on, our auditor did do a report on that, which is in everybody's packet. There's also an ordinance about the affordable housing It's a detailed report, about 20 pages, 25 pages, regarding our being compliant with our settlement agreement. Also, too, we're looking into with the engineer, our community development block grant, doing that. Also, this is, I'm very excited about this. We have an Eagle Scout project. Nolan Shanahan, local high school resident, he came up with an idea, and what it is called little free library. What it basically is it's a wooden box that's on a stand, and they're put throughout the town, and it's kind of like take a book and leave a book, like an free exchange program, and it kind of functions on the honor system. So again, a small wooden box. I mean, I think he's going to put one by the VFW on Market Street, talking about Saddle River Road, by one of the bus stops. He's got a few areas where he wants to put it. But again, anyone can take a book and then bring it. You don't have to leave one, but you bring it back when you're done with it. And it's kind of a unique personal touch. It seems like a really good program and a really good project for him to do to help the community. I want to congratulate all the candidates, the incumbent candidates that won the election. They're my team. We worked very well together. I'm very happy that they got reelected. I do want to say congratulate the Republican candidates. I agree that I appreciate you ran a good, clean campaign. You did a good job. I was very impressed with both your resumes. I think you're more than qualified. And more than anything, you know what? It's hard. A lot of people will complain and they like to talk, but you know what? It takes a lot of courage to put your name on a ballot and to run. And it means that you really want to get involved and you want to help the community. And those are all good things. And I hope that you do stay involved, and I hope you do run again. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can bring you over to the Democratic side. My condolences to the Kugler family. Ed was an icon in town. Some people don't know, but he was really a mentor to me. He helped me out immensely when I first got elected to the mayor. Pete as well. Pete was a former mayor too. So it's always good to have people that you can rely on, that you can talk to. Sometimes it's a lonely. You get lonely. You're on an island all by yourself, and it can be difficult. But he and I'm all in favor of naming a public building in his honor and his memory would be a really good thing. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I think that's it. Oh, I also want to congratulate the Board of Ed candidates too. Kelly Mahoney, Sylvia Zottarelli, and Richard Shearer for their victories, and the three that ran and were defeated. Again, same thing. It's tough. It's tough to lose. I can only imagine what it would be like. So, but everybody's a winner. Everybody's a winner that runs. In my opinion, I truly feel that way. And wanting to get involved with the community is the best thing. Thank you.
Through the chair, just 1 minute. Mayor, the Christmas tree lighting, 6 o'clock?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Okay, now go to
It's usually 6.
27,
Yeah,
6 o'clock?
6.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, at this point, I believe our Township Administrator / Clerk would like to say a few words.
Yeah, coming from the dinosaurs he mentioned, I just want to say, I met Ed Kugler when he was mayor. I was 18 years old. I was running for the Board of Education a long time ago. He gave me a lot of good advice. I served on the council when he was mayor. When I became mayor, he became a councilman, and he was on the council when I was clerk. As the mayor said, he was there giving a lot of advice. We didn't always agree. We've had our disagreements, but with that, it was always you disagree and it was over with. He had a lot of funny sayings when he was at council meetings. Just one time, we were at a meeting, and it was at the town hall, people were talking before the meeting, and it got quiet, and Ed says, "Don't worry, you can talk about me, say anything you want, the battery in my hearing aid went dead, I can hear what you're saying." And some other funny stories, but he's going to be missed. It's going to be strange to walk into Kugler Funeral Home and not see Ed sitting in that office. We always stopped in, say hello, and our condolences, of course, to the family. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next, we'll get to general business and ordinance amending chapter 206-29, Article 8 entitled Vision Obstruction on Corner Lots. A motion is in order that the township clerk proceed to give same ordinance a second reading. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Major. Second. Second by Mr. Garrett. Roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
No.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Just through the chair, do we take out the whole safety issue from the ordinance?
We put in the safety issue.
Yeah.
We put in safety. Yes.
Councilwoman Meza?
Yes.
Council President Simon?
Yes.
An ordinance amending chapter 206-29, Article 8 entitled Vision Obstruction on Corner Lots.
Is there a motion for a public hearing?
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
It's motion by Ms. Major, second by Ms. Dominio. Roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Councilman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Councilwoman Meza?
Yes.
Council President Simon?
Yes, meeting is open to the public. If anyone would like to have any comments or questions on this ordinance. I guess if you want, we can talk about this now, even though it's not the public. Todd, it's what it says in section B. It says, this ordinance shall be prospective in nature, going forward. Doesn't mean that we're going to cut down anyone's trees or bushes, things like that. However, it is in the discretion of the construction code official that should pre-existing bushes and/or trees obstruct vision to present a safety hazard, the construction code official may, in his or her discretion, require the homeowner to comply with the terms of this ordinance. So you're not supposed to have anything over a certain height in front of your house and the side of your house. It's basically a safety issue. We don't want people to go there. No one's coming down and cutting your bushes, cutting your trees, dismantling your fences and things like that. It's going forward. But if it turns out that there is a safety issue and the construction code official goes and looks at it, he may, under the terms of this ordinance, if passed, can direct you to remove the safety issue.
No, that's, through the chair, that was my fault. I missed the last meeting, unfortunately, so last we talked about it, we were throwing the whole safety thing up in the air.
Yeah. We actually put it in there, so this way, it's going forward. But if it turns out to be a problem where someone's backing out and next door neighbor's got kids and you're backing out blind, you don't see what's going on. If we know about it, either through somebody, maybe the police going by and saying, hey, that doesn't look right, or property maintenance officer, construction code official on their rounds, or the neighbor saying, I'm afraid, my kid's on the sidewalk. These people are coming out and they can't see because they've got 20-foot tall arborvitaes that go right up to the sidewalk. There's absolutely no way that you can see what you're doing until you're 6 or 8 feet past that arborvitae.
Well, that was my reason for asking. I didn't want it to be, oh, this neighbor hates this neighbor, so cut your bushes down. I wanted to make sure it was a legitimate.
Through the chair, though, we do have an ordinance on the books, the fence ordinance, which specifies on corners that nothing could be 3 foot, bigger than 3 feet. This particular ordinance came into place because of a dispute. It wasn't a corner property. The safety issue was removed. The bushes were removed, over, I believe, 10 feet of them. But the neighbor still didn't like it because she couldn't see the street, so she wanted more of the bushes removed. So my reason for voting no is, as we talk to the building code official, this comes up once every several years. And I don't think that we need to put a new law in place when we already have an ordinance that specifies the safety issue. And I also think that the building code official could do it. And my question is, how do you grandfather in bushes? They took out the bushes that created the safety problem. They couldn't see out of their driveway.
Right.
That's definitely something that has to be removed. But they weren't happy then because they went 10 or 15 feet and then it was all very high bushes. And they sat on their porch and could no longer see the street. That's not a safety issue.
Well, that's,
So I think it's just
You're
too
100%
open, and I don't think we need, that's my opinion, I don't think we need a law in place, especially when we have an ordinance in place with the fence that, it's common sense. If the bushes or a fence and it's a safety issue, it has to be removed. So that's why I voted.
under this ordinance, that if it's not a safety issue anymore, if they cut it back to a certain point, if it's existing and they cut it back, and it's no longer a safety issue, in the discretion of the construction code official, the homeowner will not be required to.
I
to pull
understand
back.
that, but why do we need a need in place? That's his job. It's his discretion to go out there. I don't think reasonable people, neighbors, could get along. I don't think we need to put a law in for him to do his job. That's my opinion.
Understood. Seeing no members of the public here to speak about this ordinance, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Dominic, second by Ms. Major, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
No.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes, please read the resolution regarding final passage.
Be resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook that the ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Chapter 206-29, Article 8, entitled Vision Obstruction on Corner Lots, does now pass on second and final reading, and that the Township Clerk be directed to advertise said ordinance or title thereof in the press, together with the notice of the date of passage of said ordinance according to law.
Motion to pass the ordinance on second reading.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Garrett,
Second.
second by Ms. Major, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
No.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes.
Ordinance passed.
The ordinance passed 4-1. Next is first reading ordinance number 1690-20, an ordinance authorizing an emergency appropriation under NJSA 40A:4-53. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Dominion, second by Mr. Accomando, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes, please read the resolution regarding passage on first reading.
Be resolved by the Township Council that an ordinance authorizing an emergency appropriation for NJSA 48:4-53, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the third day of December 2020 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building, 93 Market Street, and at such time and place, all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law with the notice of its introduction on passage on first reading, and of the time and place when where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Okay, is there a motion to pass on first reading?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Dominio, second by Mr. Accomando, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes, that passes unanimously. Next is ordinance number 1691-20, an ordinance authorizing an emergency appropriation, NJSA 40A:4-53, that be passed and adopted on the first reading. Motion to give it a first reading.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Dominio,
Second.
second by Ms. Mazer, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes. Let's give it a second reading.
Be resolved that by the Township Council that an ordinance authorizing an emergency appropriation for NJSA 48:4-53, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the third day of December 2020 at 7:00 p.m. But sooner thereafter as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building, 93 Market Street, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Dominio, second by Mr. Accomando, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes, that passes on first reading unanimously. Ordinance 1692-20. An ordinance amending Chapter 48 of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook entitled Affordable Housing that be passed and adopted on first reading. Is there a motion to give it a first reading?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Dominio, second by Mr. Accomando, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes, please give it a first reading, sir.
Be resolved by the Township Council that an ordinance amending Chapter 48 of the Township Code of the Township of Saddlebrook entitled Affordable Housing, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on the third day of December 2020 at 7:00 p.m., or sooner thereafter as the matter can be reached at the Municipal Building, 93 Market Street, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Is there a motion to pass on first
Motion.
reading?
Second.
Dominio with the motion, second by Mr. Accomando, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes. Passes unanimously on first reading. Next is the consent agenda. We have items that are not on the consent agenda.
Yes, we do. We have the minutes from the October 1st meeting that will not be part of consent agenda, as well as resolution number 8, authorizing payment of bills. We'll do them separately.
Okay. With those two exceptions, is there a motion to pass the consent agenda?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Dominio, second by Mr. Accomando, roll call.
Through the chair, we're going to have a resolution for the architect for the dollar amount, providing that we don't have a mayor to sign.
Providing that we get more
Right,
clearance
Yes.
on the scope of
the work.
the work, especially in that one particular
Yes.
section. Yes.
So I have that on.
Okay, with that understanding, is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Dominio,
Second.
second by Mr. Accomando, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes.
We have the minutes from the October 1st, 2020 regular public meeting.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Dominio, second by,
No, motion second.
oh, sorry, motion by Ms. Mazer, second by Ms. Dominio, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Abstain.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes.
And we have the payment of the bills, resolution number 8.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Dominio, second by Mr. Accomando.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mazer.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
That's it. I believe that's it for that.
That's it.
You have under new business best practices inventory. Did you want to speak about that, or?
As you mentioned, and the mayor mentioned, every year the state requires each municipality to fill out a form from the CFO and myself concerning best practices. There's a list of questions which we are scored on. This year we did achieve 100%, scoring at 24.5. For the best practices, we do have to discuss that by law at a public meeting, so I'm very happy to bring that out tonight. It's probably the top score that we've ever received since the state has started best practices. We've usually been in the 90s. Municipalities that do not score well can lose a portion of their state aid in the last quarter. So happily, Saddlebrook will receive the full state aid for the last quarter of 2020.
Okay, old business, we'll drop it in. If you haven't talked about it already under comments, is there any old business or new business that you would like to speak about?
Yes.
Ms. Hazel?
Yes. Unfortunately, I omitted a couple of things in my first go-round. I'd like to congratulate the Board of Ed candidates. You know, that's for a successful campaign also. Great job, and thank you for your service. And also to the voters of Saddlebrook. I'd like to thank them, my goodness. You know, you did an amazing job. The turnout was extraordinary. Thank you for your confidence, and for those who did not vote for me, hopefully I will gain your confidence in the next 4 years. But I also would like to bring up the senior 90 birthday. That was such an extraordinary fun time. It really, really was. I believe we had as much fun as those youngsters did. And we learned a lot from them. They're, you know, secret to their longevity. A lot of things I can't say here on camera, but they were amazing, and their sense of humor and getting through this difficult time, they were extraordinary. And I'd like to thank especially Councilwoman D'Arminio, because it was your brainchild, your idea.
Thank you.
And Mayor and your Secretary Christine, the bus driver taking us around, fellow council people, Joe Leshy, Howie, and I hope I'm not missing anyone. But again, I hope we continue that celebration because it was really, really a fun day. Thank you.
I would just like to, I miss saying to the veterans, thank you for your service. And I have an old veteran at home. I didn't want to forget. So, but no, seriously, to all the veterans, thank you.
And just, I'm sorry to forget Mr. Kugler, because just like Dave, Mr. Kugler was, when I was running with Bob, was one of the first people I met. And he was very full of knowledge, wisdom, just an all-around good guy, and I'm glad I got the privilege to know him. So my sympathies to the family and prayers.
Sir, I just want to commend Karen on the 90th birthday party. You did a great job.
Thank
Also,
you.
Mayor Christine, but you know, you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for all participating. It was really fun.
I just want to reiterate that it was a great day. I forgot it, so, but I usually remember things like that, but, you know, with everything going on.
And the veterans, they loved it. They all
Yeah, no,
loved it.
they did.
And so well deserved,
Yep.
especially during this time.
Karen deserves all the credit. She really,
Thank you.
She really had everything planned out to a T.
Well, but
She's
I
very
thank
good
you
at
for
that.
your support,
Of
because
course.
it works with all your support. So thank you.
And I want to thank the veterans as well, too.
I don't know if the camera gets it, but we have, that was on the bus. We'll remember them that way. Just, I'll try and make it real quick. It was a great 2 days. I mean, it took 2 mornings, and we met a number of people. I had a contact with News 12. They came and they filmed it, and, you know, I can tell you, they seeing themselves on TV, it may have been the greatest thrill that they've had. But one thing, we learned some stories about them, and you just never know who you're dealing with, because you might see an old man walking around with a limp, and just like, hey, look at this old guy. Well, he's a bigger badass than you would ever be, because we heard a story, and I'll just tell it real quickly, that this gentleman was in a firefight, and he went back to help his wounded comrades, and he got his leg blown off. He got hit by a water shot, and he was laying there without a leg, and the enemy came over and they said, let's put this. I don't know if they said, let's put him out of his misery, but they said, this guy's he's still alive. So they slit his arms to make him bleed out. And he's laying there. Now it's cold and he's in the snow. And they thought he was dead. And he must have grunted or something like that. And they're smoking a cigarette on a rock and they kick him over. And he falls into the snow. Well, it's the best thing that happened because the snow packed his wounds. And he didn't die. And he is a person that you'll see around town, whipping around. Doesn't really like to tell the story, but I heard the story. And he was in the hospital for 21 months. But he came back, raised a family here, as you know, and you know, his daughter was a councilwoman, and son is one of our employees. So God bless you. And you know, those are the kind of stories. You just see like some guy out there, and you don't know the backstory, and that's what that is.
And I just want to say, you can't forget the 100-year-old World War II veteran. I mean, he was incredible. What did he say? He was 17 years old and he went thousands of miles away from home. I mean, it's just incredible. They were all incredible.
Yeah.
And fun.
Yes, it was a fun day. All right, I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Lemire, second by Mr. Accomando. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? No. The meeting is now open to the public for agenda items. Any member of the public want to address the council on amended agenda items, come forward. Garcia?
Mr. Council President, just a quick question, because I remember this a couple months back when I was here, a couple months back, about the affordable housing. We're again talking about amending the affordable housing code here again. I'm just wondering what exactly are we doing at this present time?
Well, this, I guess Anthony can speak to it, but basically, we we've got a consent order or judgment, and there's certain things that need to be put into place in order to go forward, but if you want to, you know the ins and outs of this.
Yeah,
So I'll
no.
defer to our counsel, Mrs. Suarez.
I didn't get the last part. Was the question to be an update on it, as to
Yeah.
where we're at with regard
Why are we passing this?
Oh, so why in the first place are we doing this? Yeah, you basically said it, so that we have a judgment that we're trying to finalize and close out as a final judgment. And as part of the recommendations that were made by a planner that was appointed by the court, a neutral planner, she made recommendations in order to help us kind of settle it and then close it out. This is part of her recommendations, and it, in effect, overhauls the affordable housing ordinance we have now. And if you look at it, it has in place certain like guidelines with regard to the way we have to go forward, what is and what isn't allowed in certain zones, spending plans that need to be, finalized, and reports that have to be conducted in order to get us to the point where it's satisfactory to the other parties.
Thank you.
Any other member of the public on agenda items? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close to the public for agenda items.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Dorminio, second by Mr. Garrett. All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? No. Meeting is now closed to the public on agenda items. Any last minute comments, anyone?
No.
Okay. I thank everyone for their attendance.
Cancel a motion.
I know. Just gotta get my last gigs in here.
Really, you said you weren't going?
Okay. You talk more than I do tonight. Okay, I'll shut up. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Accomando, second by Ms. Miller, roll call.
Councilwoman Dorman.
Yes.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mizza.
Yes.
Council President Samuel.
Yes, go back.